Recently, I've been on a grind to finish off platinum trophies that I have started at some point in my trophy hunting career. Today, I went back and finished Resident Evil 7, the first ever spooky game I've ever platinumed. Now, I am not a horror person, I hate jump scares, and the fact that I play with headphones and super close to my monitor, it just does not go well for me. But I started playing this game thanks to my boy Plo, who literally bought the game and turned in channel points for me to play this. So, to start off, I just want to say, F you, Plo. Why'd you do this? Anyways, Resident Evil 7 has 38 trophies and can be all achieved in 3 playthroughs. And let me tell you, every playthrough had its own roller coaster of emotion. That's right, I'm looking at you, Madhouse playthrough. Literally put me on the brink of insanity a couple times. We begin the game with an opening cutscene with a video from Mia telling our character Ethan about her job. We then get another video telling Ethan that she lied and to stay away, something I've heard too many times in my past relationships. So to catch Mia red-handed, we head to her job to confront her and make her sign divorce papers. Upon doing so, we get our first trophy, she's alive. We then stumble upon this abandoned house, and already I can tell her new man is a downgrade. Looking for a way in, we see this man just walking around the woods. If this is who Mia left me for, he's either got a lot more money, or he's packing more in his pants than I ever could. It definitely wasn't for his sense of decor. Anyways, we follow this guy to the shack. This is making more sense now. My wife left me for trailer trash. Homeboy definitely has a bigger dick. Anyways, we explore the house, and honestly, I've seen better looking houses on that one hoarding show. Shout out to Hoarders on TLC. Throughout exploring the house, we stumble upon this tape, and while looking for a place to play it, we get a trophy for closing the door behind us. Man, I love simple trophies. Anyways, we put this tape in the TV and get to play a side story, if you will. Basically, these films are events that happened in the past to teach you how to survive the next area. In this first one, we see the TLC crew from the hit show Hoarders looking to explore the house we are in. At the start of the tape, we grab this lockpick behind us and open up this drawer in the kitchen. Not only does it give us a trophy for lockpicking something, but it will still be open once we come out of the recording, because that's how things work in this game. Boy oh boy, are we gonna have fun in a confusing time. Before coming back to that drawer, we do learn of a secret tunnel that the TLC crew found which helps out Ethan, aka us, know where to go. But before we go down the secret tunnel, we head back to the drawer and get our first antique coin. And in this playthrough, we are going to collect all of them. I just wanted to point out this one because it's the first one and most missable one, and I more than likely won't show them all being collected. Along with the coins, we are also destroying all of the Mr. Everywhere statues and watching all of the videotapes. Now, there is one type of collectible that I didn't mention, and that's reading all of the files. The reason for that is, well, early on in the game, actually, right after going into the tunnel, there are 2 files to read, and I only read one of them. I know, my tism was showing. We all make mistakes, okay? Just like how your mom made the mistake when...
Stop it. Get some help.
We end up finding Mia, who is just chilling in a prison cell, and either her new man thinks she's crazy or she showed her freaky side. Either way, brings me joy to see her locked up. She then goes on to say Daddy's coming, but I'm confused because I'm right in front of her. Oh wait, I forget, she's a cheating bitch. A few minutes later, we get to see the real Mia, the freaky deaky side of Mia. The Mia I knew and loved before she left me for Daddy. Okay, I'm sorry, I think I've drugged the Mia slander a bit too much. Anyways, we end up fighting her multiple times throughout the house, and this is reminding me a lot of mommy and daddy fighting as I was growing up. Except my mom never chopped my dad's hand off! But hey, at least it was the left hand, if you know what I mean.
What do you mean by that?
We then take Mia upstairs to punish her, but get interrupted by the man who stole her away from me. Wait, pause. Mia left me for this guy? This is Daddy?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
We do get a trophy for getting decked in the face by Daddy, though. We then wake up to, nice family dinner that Daddy cooked up and was even kind enough to feed us. Such a wholesome family moment. What is it with cutting off arms and hands in this game? We then find a way out of the chair and start to look for an exit. Also, with this being the first Resident Evil game I've ever played, I didn't know Daddy would be mad that I left the table. Eventually, I figure out where to go, and this leads me to the first safe place in the room. For someone who doesn't do well in scary and stressful situations, this was the best part of the game for me. I could sit in here, watch my Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and not be scared anymore. We also get a trophy for taking this lockpick out of the box. And after leaving the safe room, we find out that the police are here to save me, and even though I'm the victim of mutilation, the cop doesn't quite like my attitude. Can't help but think that this might be racially motivated. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Unless. Anyways, he gives us a knife and tells us to meet him in the garage. Once we did, we tried to explain the situation with Daddy, but Daddy said that he'd explain it himself by shoving a shovel through his head. You can't tell me that's not racially motivated. We end up having to fight our way out of the garage, and I was stupid enough to think that bullets would take this guy down, when in reality, we just need to get in the car and run him over a couple times. We eventually kill Daddy by running him into a metal pole and the car catching fire, burning him alive. Or so I thought. But right as he gets a hold of me, the car does explode and puts Daddy down. Again, I was wrong. I'm convinced this dude is quite literally him.
You're that guy, pal. Trust me. You're that guy.
Even though he shot himself in the head, I'm 90% sure this won't be the last time that we see him. Now that that's over with, it's time to move on to the main part of the house where so many puzzles lie and where the story continues. I also would get another trophy for destroying my first Mr. Everywhere statue. We then get this phone call from a girl named Zoe, who is the daughter of Daddy and is trying to help us escape. She says we need some sort of keys to escape the house and meet her. So we look around, find a clock pendulum, and try to use it to match this silhouette on the wall. And after realizing that that doesn't work, we actually get a trophy for it. I love getting trophies for being a total dumbass. We do a little bit more exploring and stumble across the next videotape titled Mia, which is probably her sex tape with Daddy, and that I'm about to make Ethan sit and watch because he could learn a thing or two if he's really trying to get Mia back.
Oh my god!
Cuck jokes aside, there is a trophy within this tape, and that is to complete the tape without being spotted by Marguerite, Daddy's wife, which makes sense why she's hunting Mia down. She's younger, more attractive, and probably just way more kinky. The good news is while doing this, if you get spotted, you can just reload the checkpoint. The other cool thing about these tapes is that it gives you an insane amount of map knowledge for whenever you get to this area later on. Shout out Game Devs for giving me a trial run of certain areas mid-game to make me look smarter in front of my viewers. We love that. Anyways, after a bunch of sneaking around, we end the tape by getting this insanely close up with Marguerite and getting pulled away. At least the trophy popped, just like Mia popped Marguerite in the face with her foot. Back to the real world, we find one of the 3 keys to let us out of the main room in the house. We figured out what that pendulum does at another clock. Now having 2 of 3 keys, we set off to find the last one, thinking that it will just be as easy as finding the other 2. We come across this bathroom with this nasty black goo in the bathtub. We decide to drain it and find a wooden statue inside. But before I could even think what this goes to, we get choked by none other than Daddy, who looks like he just got back from bad plastic surgery and throws me across the room. I end up shooting him in the knees and haul ass downstairs to the projector room to match the wooden statue up with the painting. Once we get past this painting, we end up in this new room covered in the same black stuff that we saw in the bathtub. Then a new enemy comes out of the goo. I decided to run away and conserve my ammo and health. Definitely because I was not pissing my pants. After a little bit more exploring, I end up finding another safe room, which could only mean one thing. Shit was about to get real. And it did, because now we are going downstairs to this creepy basement. Yay. I end up finding this morgue-like room with some more of that black goo stuff in there. I should mention just before this, someone in my chat reminded me that I can technically block these guys if I'm using a knife against them. I do so, and I get another trophy to pop. I also get introduced to this new black goo monster, one with the shield-like thing on his arm. Thinking he was more of a defensive monster, I wasn't worried. Until he chopped off my fucking leg! So instead of being a cripple, I end up just killing myself. Now, if you're watching this and you only have 1 leg, I'm not saying killing yourself is the better option. Unlike you, I get to respawn with 2 legs in this game. Anyways, we went back down to the room and actually got another trophy for finishing off an enemy with a knife. Kinky if you ask me. I eventually make it to the end of the basement area to find the last of the 3 keys that I need to escape. Just to be interrupted by Daddy for like the 5th time now. And I wish my father was as present in my life. The only thing separating me from him is 6 feet of dirt. In this boss fight with Daddy, he used this giant chainsaw scissor weapon against my tiny knife and Glock. Terrified for my life, I tried ducking his attack and actually get a trophy for doing so. I eventually get my own chainsaw and end up killing Daddy for the 5th and hopefully final time. The ending boss fight was pretty gruesome, so I'm not going to be showing it due to the fact that I don't want to get demonetized, so let's just say he got split open wider than your girl's legs open up.
Bruh.
We end up using the chainsaw to break out, but it ends up breaking in the process. Truly, Ethan has the worst luck that I've ever seen. We then head back to the door to put all 3 keys in. We walk outside to get a trophy for breathing some fresh air, but we still aren't home free yet. I head over to the trailer safe house and talk to Zoe a little bit more on the phone, and this may have been after the fact that Ethan played with her bra. Anyways, Zoe goes on to tell us we need a serum to cure everyone, and we have to go to her mother's cabin to find the components for it. So we head off in that direction. The only difference with this place is instead of big black men everywhere, it's flies everywhere, and to be honest, I'm not sure which one is worse. I also got a trophy for killing 2 enemies with 1 shot. Not entirely sure how in this situation, but I'll take it. I then found another safe house, and this one had a backpack in it to increase the amount of items that I could hold, which also can hold this trophy that just popped. About 3 minutes later, I'd get another trophy for killing all of these bugs off this door with just a knife and curing my fear of bugs. I also decided to try drugs for the first time, and I got a trophy for that too. I also found all the parts to build this flamethrower, which was not only a great weapon during World War II, but it's also for burning all of the insects in the game. After committing mass genocide to the bug race, I found Mia downstairs, but I'm still mad at her for leaving me for Daddy that I didn't listen to her get kidnapped by somebody else. Passed from one dude to another, it seems. Classic. We also get to meet Marguerite for the first time, until she really closed this door in our face. I decided to get revenge on her by shooting her in the back of the head with a shotgun and then setting her on fire. And eventually she had enough and just like your kindergarten bully, pushed me to the ground and ran away crying. Good news is I got a trophy out of it. I then tried to go into mommy's bedroom without her knowing, but it's almost as if she was waiting for me. And in typical mother fashion, she threw me hard through the floorboards. Saying it like that, this joke can now go one of two ways, either child abuse or kinky.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
I once again got my revenge by setting her on fire and trapping her down on the ground. Now it's time to see what mommy was hiding in her bedroom. What the My thoughts exactly. Turns out this is part of the serum. Not exactly sure how, but Zoe says she'll explain it later. For now, we need the second part of the serum, which is behind another door, and Mommy Marguerite has the key to it. Simple enough. We'll just go down the hole and loot her dead body. Oh, hell no. That then leads us to Marguerite's boss fight, where I'm confident I know how this works. But the good news, chat, is I know exactly how this works. Ah, bitch! I may have been wrong in that moment. Speaking of moment, let's take one to acknowledge how disgusting this lady is. She's got a bug sack where her vag is. Plo, what the fuck is this game that you're making me play? Anyways, there's a trophy to shoot her while she's lunging at you, and somehow I was able to get it while she killed me. Shout out to logical game mechanics, we love those. Thankfully, it put me right at the beginning of the boss fight, which wasn't as hard as I thought. Also, for those wondering, for my first playthrough, I am playing on normal difficulty. This will help me in my other runs because I do get certain items to use for my playthroughs. Back to the fight, we kill Marguerite by setting her on fire for a third time. We then head back to Dead Mommy's bedroom to go in the scariest room in the game, and I'm not gonna lie, I may have pooped my pants a little bit in here. This area ended up with us pulling off this dead kid's arm, which actually is the first ingredient of the serum. I would eventually get out of this area and get that part of the story's trophy. I then headed back to the trailer where I got another phone call, this time from Mia's new boyfriend. He called me to tell me how great she was in bed, and now she's screaming his name instead of mine. But to make up for it, there is a surprise in the fridge for me. We're now in the part of the video where we're gonna play everyone's favorite game. Guess what's in the fridge? Is it A, a can of apple juice, B, some leftovers from last night, or C, a decapitated head? Place your votes in the comments. I'm thinking it's a can of apple juice. Oh, it was C. First I lost Mia, now this game show, I just can't win. Moving on to the next time that I played this game, our objective is to hunt down this mystery man and take him out of this world. The first step was to find the cop's body from the beginning of the game and reach inside of him in the most non-sexual way possible. Once we pull out of him, we find a key that now unlocks every other door in the main house. Behind one of those doors was another tape titled Happy Birthday, but we'll get back to that in just a second. We also found the blue key card to find our way to Mia's secret lover. Now to find the red one. But before we go looking for that, we do need to do this birthday tape. Now there is a trophy within this tape, and that's to complete it in under 5 minutes. And instead of being a pleb like it's Illusion, I did one playthrough of it learning what to do on my own, then went back in for a second time and ran it in under 5 minutes, thus popping the trophy. I then went back into the main house to look for the red key card and would end up finding it in the basement where I found the cop's body. Don't ask me why I didn't get it earlier. I'm pretty slow when it comes to critical thinking. I then went back and opened up the locked door to Mystery Man's place and finally got to see what he looked like. And all I gotta say is Mia is just going downhill with her choices in men. It's okay, baby bear. You can always come back to me. I still love you. Moving forward, we get introduced to mines with tripwires. And if you thought I was slow before, oh boy. That's crazy. I thought I could get underneath it. The game devs also thought of randomly putting them in supply crates, and if you broke them up close, they blow up in your face. We also get a guest appearance from your very own mother in the game. Crazy she had enough time to be in this game, considering all the late nights that I've had with her. Huh? After taking down your mom again, we found the key code to the locked door that Mia's new boyfriend was hiding behind. We put the code in, but her new boyfriend is so anal that he won't let us bring anything in. So we dump everything in the supply box by the door. We then again have to do the happy birthday mission, this time in real life. Thankfully, we can skip a lot of parts, including not filling the room with oil, which is what killed the guy on the tape. Once out of the room, we find Mia and Zoe all tied up and waiting for a good time. We let them go, and Zoe was only able to make 2 doses of the serum. That would be fine if it wasn't for the grand return of Daddy. I don't think I've ever seen anything uglier in my life, and I've seen your mom without makeup. This is just another boss fight where we have to shoot the many eyeballs all over his body. I wouldn't say it was a hard fight, it was just annoying to have to keep luring him above and below for certain spots. Eventually we kill him, but like typical Daddy, he was just playing sleepy time and came back to grab us. However, this time we were more prepared. We stabbed one of the syringe needles into him, turning him into a giant pile of jizz. Surely he is dead this time, right? Please let him be dead. We then meet Zoe and Mia on the dock and get left with a decision on who to use the last syringe on. I ended up choosing Mia because, well, she looks more like a baddie than Zoe, if I'm being quite honest with you. Also, it's kind of Zoe's family's fault that I lost my arm and my leg at one point, so Zoe can be mad all she wants, but at the end of the day, that's my baddie of a wife right there. Mia and Ethan set off on their journey back home when all of a sudden they came across a big ass boat in the swamp. But it wasn't just any big ass boat, it was the boat Mia was working on at the beginning of the game. To make matters worse, the Loch Ness Sea Monster decided to flip over the boat, causing us to pass out. Oh yeah, we also do get a trophy for escaping the last area, by the way. This next part of the game is pretty much Mia having a series of flashbacks of before getting infected, and is all stemmed from this little girl right here. We then find the last videotape that this little girl insists that we watch and pops the trophy for us. Within this tape, we basically just learned how the disease started and that Mia was in charge of studying it. It broke out through the ship and Mia is trying to contain it, so we pretty much just run around the ship, get an idea of what the floors look like, and try to find this little girl. In the process, we do get a trophy for killing an enemy with a bomb attached to it. My 2 Muslim friends would be so proud of me right now. We end the tape by finding the girl, but before we can detain her, she just blows up the whole ship, causing us to knock out underwater, which ultimately leads us to being picked up by Daddy. Back to reality, Mia is still determined to find Ethan, but this little girl has mommy issues and tries to stop us from finding him. We end up finding cameras that show us exactly where Ethan is, trapped in black goo. Not exactly how I'd like to spend my Friday night, if you know what I mean. After fixing the elevator, we head down to save Ethan, and while doing so, I opened up this locked container to find another antique coin, which just so happened to be the last one that we get a trophy for. We then found Ethan, set him free, and then Mia sacrifices herself so that Ethan can go and put an end to this evil once and for all. Once we walk outside from the shipwreck, we also get the trophy. Now it's on to the final part of the story, hunting down the source of this evil. While stocking up for this final adventure, I craft some flamethrower ammo and get a trophy for crafting one of everything. Then it's off into the mines where we get jumped by the first of many black guys. We stumble upon this office area, which is where we craft the ultimate cure. Too bad there's only one syringe needle of it. Some kid in the hospital right now is punching the air so hard. And now, it's time for the last major round of enemies. We have to run all the way up this mine area with multiple black guys chasing you. Somehow I was able to just run past them, putting all of those white boy stereotypes to shame. Take that, racism. I then found the last Mr. Everywhere statue, and once I smashed it, I got the trophy for all of the collectibles. Next, we confronted a little girl and pumped her full of liquid. From the syringe needle, you perverts. Don't come at me with that. Upon doing so, we learned that the little girl was actually this old lady. Plot twist of the century. She then would turn into this giant pumpkin looking face. You know, like the animatronics that you'd see out in the pumpkin patch when you were a kid and your family would take you to it. Yeah, we just had to shoot that enough times to get her to throw us outside. And then the voice of God told us to shoot her with this gun that he provided. Once we shot her enough times, she turned into jizz, and we get multiple trophy pops for completing the game on easy, normal, and getting the first ending. Now we move on to the second playthrough, the speed run. Here we need to complete the game in under 4 hours, which is plenty of time to be honest with you. We also are making it a little more difficult by beating the game without opening the item box more than 3 times or using no more than 3 meds. I did this playthrough on easy because I have never done a speedrun before, and the good news is the time is very forgiving. I died a few times and was able to do it well within the time. Also, you could pause the game to watch a guide and the timer would stop. Call me a cop-out, but I hate being rushed to do trophies like this. I was able to beat the game in 2 hours and 47 minutes without using a single heal. Pretty proud of myself if I'm being honest with you. The fun part about the item box is the game makes you open it a bare minimum of 3 times, so as long as you don't open it unless prompted, you'll be just fine. I got 3 trophies and a 4th one for getting the game's second ending. My last playthrough was the hardest one. Beat the game on Madhouse difficulty, and this playthrough did indeed drive me mad. I also paired it with reading all of the files in a single playthrough because I messed it up at the beginning of my first playthrough. Oh, and there was a whole new set of antique coins specifically for Madhouse, and that we had to go and collect them all. Basically, all of the enemies and bosses had more health and less ammo throughout the game. Surprisingly, the bosses weren't that bad. I did every single boss on my second attempt, except for Mia, which I did off stream and didn't record it, but boy oh boy, I have a whole new hatred for Mia. It took me 2 streams to do this playthrough, and towards the end of it, I was able to find all of the antique coins on this difficulty, giving us that trophy. I also would find and read all of the documents throughout this run, which was more rewarding than the coins because I was so scared of missing a file, to be honest. I then would go on to finish the game, getting the trophy for beating it on Madhouse difficulty, and then the Platinum Trophy. And that's Resident Evil 7's Platinum Trophy. Coming from someone who hates horror games, I actually had a good time playing this game. I'm also pretty sure that I grew some more hair on my chest, and as well some more hair on my ball sack. Too much information? Sorry. Anyways, if this video hits 75 likes, I'll go and do all of the DLC trophies. So be sure to like and subscribe for more Platinum Trophy videos, and I'll see you guys in the next trophy adventure.